One, thank you for coming out to listen to my ceremonial speech concerning a wonderful person. There are many types of people in the world. You have selfish people. There are people who are extra caring. There are people who are unaware, and there are some that's unbothered. Then there are people who are precious like rubies and sapphire. That was him, Alvin Jerome Senor Sr. He was a gem. I could talk about how handsome he was, but I won't, because that may make my sister upset, because he was her husband. To me, he was more like my brother. I could talk about how he would put you in your place and not think twice about it. I can also talk about afterward he put you in your place. Believe me, he will come back and make sure that you understood that lashing was given out of love. I would rather talk about who and what he was to me. What he was to me, he was a father. He was a great dad and father to 6 kids. He was a father to so many that didn't have a father. He was selfless. What he was to me, he was a teacher. He spent some time as a teacher as his profession, but to him being a teacher went beyond that. He taught a few siblings and me how to drive. Okay, you can imagine that. To know how to drive and operate a car, you also had to know how to change a flat tire. This isn't a bad thing to know, but when your tire goes flat in torrential rain late in the evening, you don't necessarily think that's a good time to be taught how to change a tire. To him, it was a perfect time. Now, I really do appreciate him even more today. How many people do you know right off the top of your head that know how to change a tire in torrential rain? What he was to me, he was a provider. He provided a safe place for my sister and their family. Their house was a refuge for a few people who needed a safe place to stay. He had a kind heart, and because of his kind heart, he never turned anyone away. Even to the dismay of my sister, she was not a match for him, not when it came to providing a place for someone to stay. If you needed a place to stay, you had a place to stay. There were times I would get very tickled with the two of them having their disagreement and hear him call her shorty. The confusion part, his height was 5'10" and she was 6 feet. But yet he called her shorty. I could not figure that one out when he was very short and she was tall. What he was to me, he was a friend. He was a social worker, psychologist, and a very good listener. He was fair and loyal. He was fun. His smile was contagious, and even when I was in a bad mood and I was around him, my bad mood didn't last long. He was someone that you did not have to worry about unless it was something small like running out of gas in the car. What he was to me. Have you ever had a person in your life that was so strong and had so much wisdom, there were no more questions after you went to them for advice? That was him. Everyone went to him for guidance and for a solution to their problem. Why? Because being judgmental, he wasn't. He wasn't pretentious. He gave you the truth, whether you like it or not. There were no gray when you dealt with him. You knew exactly where you stood. He was honest and true. What he was to me. He was an example of what your husband and son to be. He was my brother. He was my friend. On September the 1st, 2006, Alvin Jerome Senor Sr., my brother-in-law, passed away. He left a huge hole in the lives of many because he meant a lot to everyone that had the opportunity of knowing him. He is missed each and every day. Rest in peace, my brother, father, teacher, and most of all, a dad. Thank you.